Hi, everybody. I'm going to be doing a talk about college because this is something I usually have a chat with anybody I find out is going to school, is going to be going to college, either as an adult or a child, really. And did extremely well once I did go back in my 30s. But in my 20s, I had issues with college. And the main issue I had related to what college is really trying to do. At 18, I wanted to learn. I wanted to know. I wanted to understand everything I could get my hands on. And it took me a long time to realize that that is an incompatible idea with what college is intended to do. What is the purpose of college? Everybody assumes it's to learn, but that is not the purpose of college. As an adult, as somebody who's worked in the workforce, who has been in a position where I have to make a decision as to who to hire and who not to hire, you have that moment when you're going to get some clarity on what college really is. College is a way for an employer to know that you can learn the material. Colleges, they don't care if you're coming out of college not knowing a thing. The only thing they care about is that you can learn it. If you're an engineer, you can do calculus. You can do electrical equations. You can do mechanical equations. Particularly in engineering, you could graduate as an electrical engineer, and 8 years, 10 years later, you're actually a mechanical engineer, or vice versa. A lot depends on what that first job you get is, and the next 8 to 10 years of training will determine what kind of an engineer you are. It is not college that's going to determine that. So, with that in mind, and when I was in my 20s, I struggled because I wanted to learn it all. I wanted to understand it all. I wasn't willing to just study for the test. I wasn't willing to just deal with, oh, I passed the test, good, I can forget this and move on. And I had a long history of fighting with that, of trying to get beyond that. I mean, one of my favorite stories from my first attempt at college back when I was 18, 20 years old is in order to afford college, I was working in the math department and helping them deal with their day to day stuff. And one of the things that I helped them with was that 4 years prior, they had given all their Calc 1 students a test. 4 years later, they were going to give that same, or 3 years later, they're going to give the same test to their graduating seniors. The idea was they wanted to learn how much of the Calc 1 did those seniors actually know and remember. The results of those exams were so bad. The people graduating with math degrees, engineering degrees, didn't remember even basic differentiation of equations. Absolutely no knowledge of it whatsoever. So here I'm sitting and saying, well, what's the point of that? Then why am I in college? Why am I doing this? The point is every one of those students passed a calculus exam, passed what they needed enough to do that if I'm an employer and I hire them as an engineer or a mathematician, I know that if I say, hey, go to this book, look up this differential equation, and use it to solve this problem, they're going to be able to do it. I don't expect them to pull it out of their hats. I don't expect them to remember every little detail of it, but they will be able to do it. That's what college is all about. Yeah, basically, learning for the tests in college is fine. Don't let that bother you. Don't worry about it. If all you're doing is learning for the test, that's fine. Just pass the test. That's one of the number one things I want to tell anybody going into college. Learning for the test is fine. Please click the follow buttons. Thank you for listening. Bye.